Hi, my name is Christina and I'm with QUEERcentric Books, and today we're going to discuss Second to None by Felice. This is the third book in the Breakfast Club series, and from what I've read, everybody is very excited because yay, Marcus's story! This was my first book of Felice's that I read, so I'm sorry I didn't get to the other two first, but I'm gonna have to go back because there's an event that happens in this one that I'm like, oh, I want to know what happened in the first two to make this happen. So very exciting. It can be read as a standalone. I read it as a standalone because, like I said, I haven't read the first two yet. But if you're already into the series, then you're going to be very excited. I was just floored. I loved this book. I think it was quite a comic genius, really. I mean, there are some very sad parts, and there are some very heartfelt parts, and there are some very heartbreaking parts, and there's some parts that you think, this really sucks that this is the world that we live in. But a good portion of it, hysterical. Genius. I loved it. So we have Marcus Feldman, who is the owner of Sparks, which is a gay club in New York City, New York. And then there's Tyler, who comes in, and he has been trained to be a ballet dancer, and he wanted to do professional ballet on the stage, but he kept telling people, I'm not going to sell myself. And so one day his sister and his niece come to visit, and his sister decides that she's going to go shopping and just never returns. So the career on the stage is very short-lived because now he must take care of his niece Lily. Therefore, he gets the job at Sparks. Now, when I came into the story, it seems that Marcus was in a bet with two of his other friends to remain celibate for a given amount of time. That was so great. Thank you so much, Felice, for giving us that, because once I got to know Marcus and got to understand Marcus, I could see the struggle of him being celibate for any amount of time. One day, I think, would be extreme. But it seems his friends wanted him to understand commitment and see that it wasn't such a bad thing. Marcus refused to be in a committed relationship because he saw what his mom went through with his dad. She was very devoted to him, and he was not devoted to anybody but himself. And he saw that struggle constantly and was like, I'm not going to deal with this. And so that's how he led his life. It was Marcus all the way. And so, in walks Tyler. And it's very much lust at first sight, like, oh my gosh. Obviously, he's had, the ballet, so he can dance, he can move, he can groove his stuff, and Marcus just wants a piece of that. The thing is that when Tyler came on board, everybody gave him the what's up on Marcus. Like, he's gonna hit on you. He's hit on everybody. He slept with so-and-so, he's done this with so-and-so. He's gonna come for you. And Tyler has priorities. He has responsibilities. So the moment that Marcus tries to make conversation with Tyler, it was not going to happen. Like, Tyler said, no, we're not doing this. I've heard the rumors about you, mister, and this isn't going to happen. And Marcus is kind of floored, like, whoa, what are we doing? What's kind of a fear bomb that's causing such problems right now? And the banter, the conversation, the back and forth between the two was so hysterical. Like, you can see that who Marcus is and that he demands this, but to have somebody outside of his circle of friends talk to him in this manner, confront him in this manner, act to him this manner, great. Like, hello, Marcus. The world does not revolve around you at this moment in time. Marcus wants to know a little bit more about Tyler and just kind of shows up at his house because he's starting to get a little bit confused on how he feels. Like, he understands that it's lust, but honestly, he's smitten and he won't admit it. You're smitten, Marcus. So they kind of have, him and Tyler kind of had like this little makeout session until this little voice says, Uncle Ty had a bad dream. And then Marcus immediately knows, oh, okay, this is kind of part of what's going on. And so Lily just goes and introduces herself to Marcus and invites him over for pancakes. And Tyler's like, I don't think he wants to. And immediately Marcus is like, I would love some pancakes. I'm going to go make the coffee. And so that was just hilarious how he took charge, not even in his own house. And Tyler's just like, whatever. Are you serious? Well, then Tyler is on his way to work and and this is where you're going to think, this is the society. Come on, people. Tyler gets beaten very badly. I mean, ribs are broken. His face is just all messed up. It's really bad. And then the head of security finds him, brings him in, calls Marcus. Marcus calls 911. They get him to the hospital. And Marcus is just, you and Lily are going to come stay with me. There's no way you can walk up, your 6th flight of stairs and take care of a little girl when you're supposed to be on bed rest for so long to heal your ribs. And Tyler's like, man, I'm not a charity case, okay? You're not going to take care of me. And Marcus is just kind of like, shut up, whatever. And Marcus is one of those friends that we all have, that it's acquired taste. When you introduce them, you're kind of like, take Marcus here with a grain of salt because he's very much the acquired taste. And either you love him or you leave him, and that is Marcus. And so he's all up in Tyler's business. This is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to work. Lily's already at my penthouse with the babysitter, so now you just kind of have to be at the penthouse, and you'll have a place to stay, a place to recuperate, a place to be. And I'm going to put her in preschool. And Tyler's like, you can't just kind of take over here. I don't have the money to pay for this. And once again, I'm not your charity case. And Marcus is like, this is what friends do. This is how friends act. They take care of each other when they can. Nobody said you're a charity case. And Tyler's like, I'm not sleeping with you. And Marcus is like, I didn't ask you to. And I think it's great because the smirks, the smarky remarks, just everything between Tyler and Marcus is just fabulous. I think it was such great written banter that it just keeps you totally engaged. There was not a dull spot in the story. It just was go, 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 but it wasn't too fast. It wasn't slow. It was kind of like, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Just right. So now Tyler and Lily are staying in Marcus's penthouse, and I think this is where it gets really good because he can't do anything really by himself. He has to kind of rely on Marcus for a lot of things. And he just kind of has to lay back. He just has to kind of relax. And then Marcus is like, I'm going to take charge of everything. And he doesn't have much of a choice. And it's really interesting to watch kind of his walls break down through all of this. While there's some of Marcus's walls breaking down through all of this. And yet they're still on their separate paths leading to one. But they take so many detours because of their personalities. It's just fabulous. And like I said earlier, it's just such comic genius throughout the whole thing. And especially when you need it, especially when some bad things happen, Lily's left by her mom, and eventually Tyler wants to go find the mom. He has to find Amber. And the whole search for her is just kind of like, boom, 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 with my heart. Like, oh my God, the phone's ringing. Is that going to be, an update on Amber? Oh my God, they're getting this. Is it an update on Amber? Somebody's knocking on the door. Is it Amber? I mean, she has you being like, oh my gosh, throughout the thing. And it was great to be so engaged in the story that, at one point in time, somebody knocked on my door and I was like, oh my God, is that Amber? Oh my God, Christina, you're reading a book. No, it's not Amber. Come on now. The writing of it, the beauty of it, I think quite a bit of it was, unique. You have these two characters, and obviously they're usually on separate things, but to have Tyler ballet trained and being a professional, and then he has to take this job because of the situation, and then you have Marcus who's completely take charge. And it's not like the billionaire thing where he has endless amounts of money, but he has a decent amount because it's only been him. What's he going to spend it on? He spends his life, he's a complete workaholic, which is what he was trying to not be because that's who his dad was. And it's interesting to see the parallel between the two, yet the contrast between the two. And so the character development in this story was just beyond great. You really got in there. You really got involved. You could tell everything. And it wasn't just the description of, oh, the dreamy eyes and the stubble on the chin, but we got to really get into their heads and figure out who they were while they completely figured out who they were. And while we're sitting over here going, figure it out, get your stuff together, even though in life we're all, figuring this out too, which I think is the brilliance of this book, is because some of us completely understand where they are because that's where we are. And I like learning life lessons in books, and I think this had a really good lesson to learn. So Second to None by Felice Stevens, I would give it 5 mimosas, 5 stars, 5 breakfast clubs, 5 wonderfully everything that you could possibly think of that's positive in this world. I give it 5. Like I said, well written, well paced, comic genius. The characters were well developed. I was completely drawn into this book. I stayed up 2 nights really late in a row, and I might have gotten a little in trouble from my husband because I was very grouchy the next one of those days. So I highly recommend this. Like I said, if you've never read a Felice Stevens book before and you haven't started the series, you can read it as a standalone. If you've already read the series, I can understand why everybody was excited for Marcus to have his own story. So the book was released. Second to None by Felice Stevens was released on January 28th, 2016, and per Amazon, it has approximately 248 pages. So it's not small, but it's not large. Once again, it's just right. This is Christina. Have a good day.